So I haven't been down in the plant propagation area for a little while. It's a very special area. It's just a huge ton of buckets of plants that we're propagating for later on putting out into the forest or for some other purposes as well. Got a couple local guys here that are awesome. One of these guys has been a participant in the Bosque for, I don't know, we've been working together for 12 years at least. And he knows a lot more about what's going on out here than I do at times. But we make a good team because I can look things up online. I maintain a spreadsheet of all the plants. We can think together about opportunities. And a lot of these plants this year are finally, after so many years, going out there into the forest, out into other gardens where then, because we've been babying them for so long, they will have to survive on their own. So it's a big step. There's like nut trees we've invested in and some flower trees. We don't even know what they are. There's citrus in here, like different mandarins or grapefruits or oranges. There's lots of stuff going on. And then there's some new stuff as well. I'll turn you over to Sherilyn and she'll tell you about that.
Hello. So there's lots going on regarding plants at the Bosque. We've been doing starts for about 3 months and learning a lot about what works and what doesn't work. And one thing early on, when there wasn't a lot of other plant material for critters to eat out in the forest, was that when you plant seeds directly in the ground, they're going to get eaten before they even have a chance to get a couple inches up. So we did a lot of seed starting in pots. And here you can see multiple things going on. Some pots are filled with seeds in them. When they get to be about this size, when their true leaves come out, we then transfer them into their own individual small pots. And then when they get big enough that critters aren't going to actually eat them, we put them out into the garden. And we have a couple gardens going that way. I just put some tomatoes, some broccoli, some peppers in the ground in some of our walled gardens, I'll say. And on this table, there's a lot going on. There's seeds, basil, red onion, nasturtiums, cherry tomatoes, salad tomatoes, eating cucumbers. There's some lettuces, cauliflower, kohlrabi, broccoli. There is one, I have planted a zucchini squash 3 times of a certain variety, and there's one little tiny plant finally coming up. So some things were really, really successful with seeds, and some things it's taken quite a bit to actually get even one plant. Oh, and there's also some okra on the table. This is our friend Sonrisa. That comes with our team when they come up from Yotatiro. Happy dog. He used to live here. There's a lot of other things going on in this area right now. This is a pile of dirt from the chicken yard, so it's really good to amend. There's some top dressing on some of the buckets going on. We're creating new buckets of soil for planting new things, and it'll also get used to put in the garden areas. There's quite a few starts going on in buckets as well. We've got cabbage, carrots. These are some cabbages that have been transplanted, a Napa cabbage. Here we have a whole bunch of things that came to the Bosque as cuttings last year, about this size sticks with no leaves on them. We have hardy kiwis. We know 3 kinds of kiwis going on here.
Figs.
I'm sorry, figs, yes. And we're hoping there's 4 kinds, but the red ones look so similar right now. We have to wait till they actually mature and eat the figs to figure out if they're actually different. The grapes were planted as cuttings. Some of them are like 7 feet tall over there now. Lots of willow going on in the buckets over here. There's at least 4 kinds of willow, and since I've arrived, I've taken cuttings from the cuttings that we did a video last year and planted them in buckets as well. We have 4 kinds of mint going on over here. There's some eating cucumbers. There's some pickling cucumbers. There's more tomatoes going on. So just like huge amounts of activity. We have some hazelnuts buckets going on here that haven't germinated yet. Behind me, there's multiple buckets of coffee that we're hoping will germinate. That would be very, very exciting to have here at the Bosque. And yeah, lots and lots of activity. Oh, actually, the video could also show there's a bucket of sweetmeat squash going on over here. And I don't know if actually it'll show, there's a few buckets up higher here. They get more sun. And there's a bunch of Polish willow in buckets, as well as a whole row of tomatoes going on that are like little paste tomatoes. And so we have no longer buying tomatoes from the town trucks for vegetables when we do our veggie runs. We have lettuces, we have scarlet runner beans, we have green beans. So we're actually starting to do really well eating out of the garden. It's pretty exciting.
Wow, what a great report. When you get different people together with different perspectives and different interests, the gardens really get a lot more exciting and, in this case, productive as well. As I walk around the plant propagation area, I end up asking Sherilyn what some stuff is. Because in some cases, he's picked up something from some nearby rancho and brought over like one of a plant or some seeds. And so over the years, he's actually brought in quite a few plants. And, I'm like, well, what's that? I don't recognize it. It's strange. And then he'll tell me, and we don't know the scientific name of it. We don't know its uses. But, part of the goal is just to collect as much genetic material here as we can, with some caution, of course. But anything we collect right nearby here is what I call a near native. And although it may not be native, sometimes you can't tell the difference. In any case, it's something that's already growing nearby. And so we bring it over here and we increase our diversity. I do have a spreadsheet of all the plants we have here. It's out of date because we bring in new things like that occasionally. And then I need to get a botanist in here and take some pictures of it to identify it. And then we can figure out whether it's useful for food, for medicine, as a fiber, as a dye. Who knows what it could be useful for. So big plant collecting. Well, I hope you've enjoyed checking out the gardens a little bit with us. It's always an adventure.